Hey everyone, Anipod here. So today I'm going to go through my week 11 of the winter season 2025. So I'm going to talk a bit about the episodes that I've been watching this week and my overall thoughts about it. So yeah, without further ado, let's do it. So the first episode we're going to talk about is season 3, episode 64 of ReZero. So I made some notes here. So I've seen different opinions actually about the latest episode. Some people were praising it, and I also saw Shibi Review made a video where he said that many in the anime fan community has not praised the episode. In my personal experience, I don't think it was a bad episode, but I don't think it was the strongest one either, because I remember season 1, because a lot of the episode pretty much focused on Wilhelm and Theresia, right? And we had a similar episode in season 1 when they were fighting the whale, and Wilhelm was fighting the whale, and he screamed "I love you" to his deceased wife, right? So I felt like this episode was kind of a repetition of that one. That's why I wasn't feeling. I think they tried to make it emotional as well, but if you compare it to the season 1 episode, I couldn't get into that one as much emotionally. Now, if we're gonna look at the positive side of the latest episode, as if we compare it to what I remember from the episode from season 1, is that in this episode they focus more on Theresia's point of view, which I don't think they did in the latest episode. At least we got some more information what happened. So we also kind of found out the reason why she actually fell in love with Wilhelm, because I do remember from the episode from season 1 where he was able to defeat her in a sword fight, and then she decided to marry him, I think. But now we got some more explanation on that, because she was chosen to wield the sword herself in wars or whatever, right? But her brothers covered for her and they all died. So when she was like the only one who had to fight, that's where Wilhelm stepped in and took the sword from her. So I guess it was kind of a relief that he was like the savior for her, and that's why she fell in love with him. So there's a lot more information in that part, at least. That's how I understood it, at least. And now, of course, he didn't say "I love you" to her ever, and eventually she died. So I guess he carries that regret. I understand that. He really should have done that. He shouldn't have been so stubborn, I think. Now, he were fighting a fake version of Teresa, right? And that's, I think, at the end after the fight, that's where he let out his feelings. I love you, I love you. But like, in my point of view, you should have done that when you had the chance, when she was alive. It's too late now. So I wasn't feeling much when he was doing that. I think that was what I can say about that episode. Now, I don't think it was a bad episode, but I don't think it was too impactful either. So yeah. Anyway, the next episode I'm going to be talking about is just a little bit actually, and that is, what episode was it? Episode 10, season 4 of Dr. Stone, Science Future. And there isn't really a lot that I want to talk about in this episode. The one thing I want to talk about, which caught my attention, is that Senku and Luna is now officially a couple. Now, I don't know if he's going to do the same thing he did with Ruri in season 1, that they're going to get a divorce maybe. But at least for now, they're a couple. And Luna is actually in love with Senku, which surprises me actually, because I've always been shipping Senku and Kwaku, but there's been absolutely no romance between them whatsoever. But that would be the dream, right? Have Senku and Kwaku. But Luna made the moves Kohaku should have done in the last 4 seasons. So yeah, too bad. Luna's not bad, but I would have shipped him with Kohaku instead. Oh well, it is what it is. All right, that's really what I wanted to talk about in that episode. The next episode I want to talk about is episode 11 of Momentary Lily. So I made some notes here. So I was actually a bit confused with this episode, because they kind of had this so-called twist. that was going on, right? And the twist, as I understood it, was like the girls. Now they kind of explained, the copies of the girls in the capsules or whatever, right? That the girls who we've been seeing fighting all the time, they're not actually human beings, but they are copies from that place, as I understand it. But the only one who isn't is Renge. Apparently, she's still a human being, but because she got the weapon from Yuri. No, not Yuri. From the other girl, I forgot her name, but she kind of got the powers. That's why her wounds are healing, etc. So they kind of explain that part at least. And they also explain that if Renge keeps using this weapon, she will eventually die. So I wonder if we're gonna get to a situation where she's gonna have to use the weapon because there's no other way, and maybe she will die at the end. We'll see how it turns out. Now, I don't think they explained how long the copies have been going on, like for how many generations, etc. And also, I'm kind of wondering why Renge was not turned into a copy, because I was expecting pretty much all humanity to turn into copies, right? Or was it just the girls that were with Renge who's been turned into copies? And what about Renge's sister? Is she a copy, or is she a real person? And the other people who are also in the shelters, are they humans or copies? That was answers we didn't get, I think. And also, I don't quite understand why you would want to replace humans with AI. Like, I personally can think AI can be very, very beneficial in many ways, but not to change the whole society. So yeah. So I don't really understood the reason for this thing in the episode. And also, I don't think the twist in itself was too impactful. I think it could have been handled better, actually. I've seen better twists than that, but it was okay at least. I guess that's what I can say about that episode. The next episode is also an episode 11, and it's the episode 11 of TASOKARE Hotel, which was a very surprising episode, actually. So, yeah, it was a very interesting episode, I think. Now, I don't really, because we got the backstory of why Masaki is the way he is, right? Is because he was neglected by his parents. His parents put more focus on Attori instead of Masaki, right? Now, I don't really I don't really feel sorry for him after that backstory. Like, okay, I get that you feel rejected by your parents, right? I get it, but that's not an excuse to go and kill innocent people. Like he has, and for different motives as well. Like with Attori, there was at least the motive that he was stealing his parents, but the other people had different reason behind that, and you can't really blame that on your parents. You can't. You're just a disturbed man. That's what I'm gonna say. And now I think the story can turn a little bit dark here, actually, because Attori was able to kill Masaki. Well, actually, it was Kiriko, right? I think his name was Kiriko. Yeah, Kiriko, who fooled Neko that if you use this gun that is in the hotel boss's room, you won't go to hell. But that was obviously not true. And Attori saved Neko just before she was about to shoot. And well, actually, Masaki saw through her and attacked her instead. But Attori came to the saving and accidentally shot Attori. Accidentally shot Masaki, I mean. And that's why Attori is now going to hell. And not Neko. And so, yeah, that was a bit of a twist that I was not expecting, actually. And now Kiriko seems to be the real villain here, because like we've seen him before in the episode, right? He's been in the bar or the bar of the hotel, right? And he usually looks outside like this, right? And I was thinking, like, what is he looking at, right? Because maybe he was just bored, or he was, seeing if other guests were coming, maybe that's just a hobby of mine. No, he was just waiting for hell to break loose, which is a kind of weird actually now when I think about it, because he's seen it before with the other girl that Masaki fooled. She was also going to hell a few episodes ago. So yeah, but yeah, Atra is going to hell, and Neko is now being fired. She's no longer an employee of the hotel. Now, I don't think that's going to end too much of the situation, actually, because we still have to remember that you can't be thrown out of the hotel, as far as I understand it. So I don't think she's going to lose. She's still going to be at the hotel, but instead of being working there, she's going to be a regular guest. I think that's how they're going to do it now. And obviously, they're going to lead her to have more restrictions than she had before to investigate things. But I mean, what is it? What is it really to investigate now? Now, when Atori and Masaki is gone, I guess the only one to investigate further now is Kiriko, right? And I don't know how she's supposed to do that. But I mean, they're both guests, right? So I guess she can get through to him that way. That's interesting, though. That was a twist I was not expecting, and that was a pretty good twist. It turns dark in the show, which I really like. So yeah, overall, this was a surprising episode. Really, really good episode. The next one I want to talk about is also episode 11. It's episode 11 of OKITSURA. So, and I really mostly want to talk about the ending, because before that is pretty much usual, right? We get Okinawan facts and stuff like that. But the last part I was not actually expecting. I was actually not expecting him to actually confess to Hina, and seeing Hina's reaction like that. Because I always thought that Hina, she was just innocent, right? She didn't understand this. Well, everyone was kind of clueless, right? Well, both Hina and Teru was clueless in their own ways, because Teru was clueless with Higa's thoughts about him. But Hina now realizes, right? I was kind of thinking that they were fooled us for a while when they were in the classroom. Even if she was holding an envelope in the back, I was thinking like, oh, they're just fooling us. It's going to be a cliffhanger, but he was actually not confessing. But she actually said in the end, okay, Teru likes me. So looks like she actually did confess. And this was right when Higa's friend said to her, you know, you got to make some moves. Otherwise, some other girl is going to steal him. And what a timing. So I wonder now, first of all, how is the friendship between Hina and Higa gonna be? I think her name was Higa, right? Yeah, or Kana. Yeah, between Hina and Kana. How are their relationship gonna be from here? Now I think Kana already knew that Teru was like Hina, so I don't think it was too much of a surprise for her. But we'll see. But I don't think Hina knew that Kana was in love with Teru, and maybe Teru actually confessing to Hina his feelings, maybe she will change her opinion of him and see him more of a man, and maybe there's going to be a love war going on between Kana and Hina. I don't know, but I'm mostly interested to see how Kana is going to handle this situation, because now she has to make a move on Teru. Now when he has confessed to Hina, she has to confess to him, right? And I wonder how that's going to be. There's one episode left. So I think the last episode is going to be very, very interesting, actually. We'll see how it turns out. All right. And the next episode I want to talk about is the final episode, episode 25. Let me just change that. All right. Episode 25 of Orb, which I finally caught up on, and I finally ended the last episode. And my final score for this one was a 9 out of 10. I actually had a 10 out of 10 until the last episode, and I'm going to explain why. So first of all, this one has been overall an amazing show. Very well written, very deep, a really, really good show. The only thing is that for me, the ending felt a bit confusing, because first I thought it was Rafal who came at the end, right? He was more grown up. Like, why is he back? Why is he back? You know, what's going on here? And for a while there, I thought that, you know, we didn't get a proper end, because my ending in my head was like, all the people we've seen before, Rafal and everyone else, Yolenta and everyone else after that, is going to be one movement each to create some sort of revolution against the church or something like that. That's what I was expecting to see. Now, luckily for me, I got some information anyway from Twitter. So if I didn't get that, I think I would have given a less score than I did actually, because so apparently, as I understand it, this story is inspired by a real person in Poland called Albert Budzewski, and apparently he I think he studied this, that it's the Earth that is moving, not the other way around. So as I understood it, I'm not sure if I'm correct there, but as I understood that tweet I saw, it was that all the people we've seen in this show are fictional characters that are an inspiration of his teachings, etc. I could be wrong, but if that was the case, then at least I can sort of understand why the show ended the way it did. I can do that. Now, I personally wish to have seen more of an actual finale, like the conclusion of everything. We didn't quite get that, but I'm still going to give it a 9 out of 10 because as a whole, I've been very invested in this show. It's been such an amazing show and one of the really, really well written shows. I'm still going to praise it a lot here. So yeah, I think that's what I can say about that one. And the last episode I want to talk about, we're going back to an episode 11 again. And that is episode 11 of Zenshu. And this is the last one I'm going to talk about. So first of all, this was another amazing episode. I cannot believe how well written this original has turned out to be. And still, so many unexpected things are happening. That's amazing. And now, we got all this chaos going on with the voice, because even if they believe that the people in the village, right, they believe they defeated the voids by defeating Natsuko, but the voids came and they think they can have the power to defeat the voids as well, but the voids defeat them and make riots in the city. It's all really, really dark and bad, and Lucas lost Natsuko, right, and he sees her not pen but whatever she's holding, right, to draw, is disappearing, and that's where he gets his depression arc, and he becomes the final void, which they were talking about before, and destroys the crystal, right? Now, and we also got, I really like the scene though with Natsuko and Unio in the afterlife of the void, right? Where we kind of saw Natsuko's point of view, where everyone was kind of being her, in the work studio, outside, everyone was pretty much being her personality. So I think she saw herself in everyone else there, and hopefully that should change her. I still believe she's still alive. She didn't die from the food. I think she's gonna come back alive again and finish the story. But yeah, that was some amazing moments, especially when she was looking in the cinema the last time. Really, really good scenes, such beautiful scenes. Once again, I teared up. Beautiful. And yeah, now she's gonna have to try and save Luke. Now, no matter how this ends, we're still in a situation where a lot of people died in the village. So, how are things going to end? That's interesting. There's one episode left. I want to see how they finish this one. But overall, this has been a big surprise. I'm really, really happy that I'm watching this one. So yeah, I think that was all the episodes that I wanted to talk about. We're getting to the final episodes of all the shows I'm watching. I have a few shows to catch up on as well. Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf. I'm not caught up on. And the same with Kuroiwa-kun. I still need to catch up on that one as well. But other than that, I should be able to do that before the spring season starts. I'm also planning in the future to make a spring season video, what shows I plan to watch, etc. But we'll get to that later. anyhow, that's all I can say for now. So yeah, have a nice day. Bye.